What's up, bud? I am Doug with D&E in the Garage. In a previous video, we mounted this dirty, disgusting, corroded aluminum toolbox to that pickup truck. And in that video, I promised that I would show you how to clean this without using detailer tools like a rotary machine. Now, I have assembled a number of low-cost products here, and we will go through them each as they come up in the process. But step number one is a good general cleaning with a proper degreaser and a power washer. If we're going aluminum, for me, that means we're using Super Clean, because Super Clean does a great job of taking care of a full spectrum of dirt and grime, because honestly, I don't even know what's all over this box. The provenance on this box is I got it via a customer's 1988 Dodge Dakota. That truck is no longer with me, but I held onto the box. It sat in a pile of leaves for a few years at my house before I needed it here. I don't even know what's all over, but you can see between the power washer and the Super Clean, not doing a bad job of getting 95% of it off. Now the inside of this box, I'm not going to go crazy because it's a toolbox for a dirty old truck. I really just wanted to get rid of the mouse turds that were inside. Ooh, buddy buck, I'll tell you what, that Super Clean does a killer job, and then you hit it with the old monsoon shooter, and most of the dirt and grime really doesn't stand a chance. Essentially, what we're now left with is a spot clean situation, and then we just got to shine up this aluminum a little bit. Now, what we really got to deal with here is these two stains. One is a rust stain. That's pretty easy. We're going to hit that with vinegar. And then I don't know what this guy is, because it didn't want to come off with the Typhoon shooter, and the Super Clean didn't do a ton to it. All right, if you're going after rust stains like this, you can either use a nylon brush or a brass brush. I like the brass brush. Use a little bit of distilled white vinegar on this. Can help break up the rust, and it'll keep you from having to dig too deep into that metal to remove the rust stain. That's the easy part sorted. You just want to be careful. Make sure you're not scratching it up too much, especially if this is a newer box that doesn't already have a ton of micro scratching and other damage, because that is going to show up in the final shine. I'm going after this big unknown one with everything we got. Let's start. We did already the Super Clean, the regular version. This foaming stuff has better retention time. I usually have really good luck letting that stuff sit for 10, 15, 20 minutes, chalking up this nylon spin brush in my drill, and really getting after it. All right, it's at this point I realize we're actually in trouble, and I'm gonna show you why. You notice how all that drilling didn't even knock it off the very sharp edges of the diamonds here? That ain't corrosion, that's some kind of glue, cement, something, I don't know. We're gonna have to go at it with something a little bigger than Super Clean. No offense to Super Clean. Alrighty, what I'm doing here is I'm going after it with my go-to acetone and a proper wire brush. If that doesn't do it, I'm stumped, and I don't know if y'all can tell, but it does not do it. Not even making a dent. The only thing that's really getting after it was the wire brush kind of digging into her. So as much as I didn't want to bring power tools to the party, I will illustrate why later on in the video. Kind of had to, because I can't leave that stain there. It looks friggin' terrible. We tried kerosene, gasoline, goof off, aforementioned acetone. Nothing was doing it. Bring in the big guns, Bob. Now you can see with the water running over it, we're able to do a limited amount of damage to the box, and we are pulling that stain off of there, which was the goal. Alrighty friends, the cleaning is done. It's as clean as it's gonna get anyway, and I let it dry out a while, so it's no longer wet. Now, since I don't do very much metal polishing or anything like this, I had to go out and source some products for it. I went right to Wally World and picked up the two products they have. We're gonna identify which one's better. The first one's by Mother's. It's Mother's Mag and Aluminum Polish. The other one is this white diamond metal polish and long-lasting sealant. That sealant I found kind of interesting. We're gonna test both of these to get this job done. I grabbed an entire bag of fresh microfibers because we're going to tear through them on this. Don't try to do this job with only one or two. What we want to do is determine which of these very inexpensive, very accessible, off-the-shelf Walmart products is going to be better for us. Up first is the white diamond. It says put a small amount on a clean microfiber, rub it into your metal. As soon as it starts to turn black, leave it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. So that is what we did. rubbed it on into our metal there. As it starts to turn black, you can see in the edges around the diamonds, we moved over to the mothers. Now what the mothers wanted us to do was something very similar. Put a small amount on a clean microfiber, buff it into your metal until it turns black, then massage the black cream in all directions. This is specifically important on diamond plate. You have to go in the direction of the diamonds, otherwise you're going to have these big missed spaces and shadows. After you've polished this stuff out, you're going to buff it off and reveal your shine. I'm actually blown away with how short of an amount of time I had to put into this one spot, and what a limited amount of elbow grease I was able to get this result. Now we've let the white diamond sit for 5-10 minutes. We're gonna buff this stuff off. Same thing, find a clean microfiber, buff in all directions. You're just removing the compound from the surface to reveal that shine. And again, I'm pretty blown away with how good we were able to get it in such a limited amount of time without, you know, throwing our whole shoulder into the darn thing. But the question is, which one is better? There's your white diamond. Good amount of luster, even, but I do think the Mothers takes the edge. Mothers was also less expensive, and personally I found it a little easier to work with, so that is the one we're going to go with. This is the side that has all the wire wheeling on it. We're starting over here because I need to figure out a technique. I don't want to have to do this baseball-sized spot at a time. It's going to take me 42 years, and it's just not going to be worth it. So what I'm doing here is trying a number of different directions and size portions of the compound and work surface sizes and shapes, and just determine what's the best way for me to buff out this entire box. And what you're going to see is I'm able to get a pretty good shine, but because I used a number of different techniques, it's a little bit spotty, plus you have some wire wheeling in there. It really starts to shine when we get to the other side. And I determined the name of the game here is a ton of compound, a big work area, and just work it for a long time in all directions. It doesn't hurt working one spot for 5 minutes if that spot is a sixth of your total workspace. You can see I worked the heck out of it, so you have a really, really dark black compound stuck in all the corners. And I'm just going to take a number of clean microfibers and just buff the absolute heck out of it. I'm blown away with how good this size works. I only needed 1 jar of Mothers to do the top and the upper sides, which is all you're going to see on my truck. Honestly, I could not believe how good this side came out. One piece of advice that I would give you is once you think you're done buffing, grab another microfiber and buff for another 10 minutes. That is the key to getting that good shine, getting as much of the compound buffed off as you possibly can. Oh, buddy, alrighty, friends. That is not too bad for an afternoon by hand with some off-the-shelf Wally World products. And considering we were starting with a less than perfect surface, I am super happy with it. It's absolutely going to serve the purpose that was designed. Ultimately, the areas that we had to wire brush remain dull. Kind of knew that was going to be the case. Thankfully, they're all towards the back and relatively well hidden. Bad boy on a truck and figure out exactly how well hidden. Like a glove. Oh, buddy Buck, I will tell you what. That is pretty darn good, and certainly good enough for Hoot's fur. And I'll be completely honest with you, had she come any shinier, I don't know if I could have put her on his rusty, dusty, crusty old truck here. Now I still got to figure out some kind of lock, or at least a latch to hold her down, and I wouldn't mind getting some new gas struts there. But as far as a place to put my tool roll between jobs, say this bad boy's 10 out of 10. Friends, that's all there is to it. In this situation, doing it by hand on a dirty old box like this that didn't have to be perfect, this Mother's mag and aluminum polish was 10 out of 10. What I'm gonna do is leave y'all a link down below to all the tools and products I used in this video in case you wanna give this one a shot yourself. Certainly bringing power tools into the equation would make this go a little bit faster. I know a number of companies make buffing balls. They're foam balls that go on a power drill, chock right up in there. Additionally, rotary machines are not all that expensive. This just wasn't that project. But if you're polishing up a new box or your fancy new pontoon boat or some other piece of aluminum and you want it to be absolutely perfect, would recommend bringing some machinery into it. So friends, leave me a comment down in the squawk boxes. Let me know what you think about my hand polishing process. What products and tools are you using, and what would you have done different on this here box? If you like the video, that's common sense. Subscribe to the channel. Maybe go check out my website, monkeywiththetoolbox.com. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.